Hello everybody, welcome to Clown World News. Today we're actually not talking about the news, we're talking about the olds. We're going to talk about a movie that I saw recently that I just think is absolutely batshit crazy. It's called Society. Came out in 1992, and there will be spoilers, so if you don't want this movie spoiled for you, don't watch this video. But if you want to watch it, you want to check it out, it's a trip. So this is Society. So the movie starts off and Billy is in his fancy psychiatrist office, and the psychiatrist is asking him what he's afraid of, what's wrong. He says he's afraid of his sister, his parents, his family. He's afraid of his psychiatrist. His psychiatrist is like, oh no, why?
Why? I feel like something's gonna happen. And if I scratch the surface, there'll be something terrible underneath.
It's perfectly normal to experience a certain irrational fear at your age. But it's no more than a stage. And it will pass, I assure you.
So he's got like a hot sister, and his sister's getting ready in the morning one day. And then all of a sudden there's like this creepy stalker, which is her ex-boyfriend, one of Billy's friends from high school.
Let go of me!
I'm sorry about this. I didn't mean to. No, just give me a minute. I can explain this. Jenny, come on.
And honestly, this is just the worst way. Like, we find out that he means well, but this is the worst way to go about this. So Billy is like running to be the student council president or some shit at this school. And he's also the best player on their basketball team. So like everybody in the school seems to love this kid. He's kind of the shit. Well, everybody except for like the rich popular kids. But if you look at the room, like, he is absolutely adored by these people. He gets his own cheerleader during the debate. Like,
You're just using your athletic ability to get the votes of the childish morons in this audience.
Looks to me like you just lost the moron vote, Marty.
so these are the rich kids, and like there's like a girl, she's like rich, she's bad news, but also his best friend runs the debate. I don't know how this works.
You may respond concerning the proposed dress code.
So he gets a little distracted by that girl, that rich girl. But I mean, I guess they're all rich because they go to this school, and like you can see what Billy's house looks like. It's just, it all depends on how affluent you are. I guess those are like the super affluent kids. But Billy's parents are like, he sees them outside one day, and they're just looking at slugs. They're like talking to their gardener, like, oh yes, it's our greatest batch we've ever had. It's the greatest. These are the greatest slugs we've ever had. Oh wow, look at that one.
Bill? There he is. The future student body president of Beverly Hills Academy.
We're so excited about our party for Judge Carter next week.
Well, I'm gonna go to the beach today.
Oh,
When will he be back, son?
Well, that depends if we go out
don't
after.
be late, darling.
What even is this? Like, you're like 17 years old and you have this crazy dialect with your parents. Super awkward.
Oh, I love that one. Look at that. It's really good.
This is the best crop we've ever grown, Rocky.
It's absolutely perfect.
So they end up going to the beach with his girlfriend, and his girlfriend tries to get him to go get them invited to Ted Ferguson's party.
And if you really love me, you'll get us invited to Ted Ferguson's party. I can't believe we were left out. Come on, Billy, baby. Couldn't you just go talk to him? Please?
So Billy goes over and awkwardly tries to invite himself to this party. Ted Ferguson is just a giant dick the whole time.
You're not bent out of shape. For all, I am the captain of the debating team.
Hey, nothing you do to bend me. Just remember, Whitney, we don't lose.
You can see that the other guy he was debating against is like in the super affluent clique.
So, you know of anything that's going on this week?
This week?
I can't think of anything.
Well, if you do, let me know, huh?
Hey, I'll send you a telegram.
So while he's doing this favor for his girlfriend, she actually dips and leaves his towel there at the beach, which is like a huge bitch move. But an important plot point happens because now Billy is separated from his girlfriend. We see his old friend David Blanchard come up and he's like, dude, you gotta check out this tape. You gotta definitely just listen to me, please.
I've got something you gotta hear.
You know what? You were out of line with my sister.
Oh, God, no, look. I'm serious. This is very important.
What are you talking about?
While that's happening, the judge and his dad and sister they're looking at her earring and they're like, there's something weird in the back of it, like a listening device. And this is when David Blanchard pulls out the tape and shows him what's on the tape. Apparently he bugged the car and he had like a voice activated system, which is crazy to have back in the 90s.
Excited.
Then you can do it with women as well as men.
Of course.
You know the schedule. First we dine, then copulation. With someone your own age first. Then with your mother and me. Then in comes the host. You'll be ready.
So naturally Billy is disgusted, he freaks out. He just pretty much learned that his family is having these weird orgies together with the rest of the town of all the rich people. Well, that's what it seems like on the tape. So he freaks out, he doesn't believe it, he grabs the tape, and he runs off. And while this is happening, the judge and his father figure out, oh, you know who's been following my daughter? This kid who's a real wizard with electronics.
David Blanchard's been bothering my daughter recently. Following her around, things like that. He's a real electronics wizard.
And then our first major plot point develops.
Dr. Cleveland, you gotta listen to this tape.
Billy, something happened at home?
No, I'm not crazy. This is real. I can't believe it.
Well, I can't right now, Billy, but I'd be glad to listen to it later.
No, now. Please.
Billy, please, trust me.
So Billy goes to a psychiatrist and gives him the tape, and he's like, yo, believe me, see? My paranoia is based on fact. Please listen to this tape. And the psychiatrist is like, oh, I'm kind of busy right now. I can't listen to a 10-second clip on a tape. I'll listen to it later, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
If you want to bring it tomorrow, it's okay.
Like Billy's like, no, it's not good enough.
I don't know why I'm afraid, but
But for some reason, Billy just decides to just give it to him anyways and leave.
Doctor, it's very important. I understand. Listen to it.
The acting in this movie is actually pretty stiff between characters, but maybe that's just because of the nature of the plot. It's intentional. This movie, it didn't do too well. It came out in 1989 in Europe and actually did well in Europe, but then it waited like 2 years, 3 years before it came out in the United States, and it pretty much bombed as a joke. Though it has since been, heralded. You'll see why it has such a memorable place in the horror culture of diehard horror fans and practical special effects.
Now, rather than later. I don't know, Billy. Maybe we should start seeing other people.
Wait a minute, Shauna. Shauna, wait!
So Billy's bitchy girlfriend kind of breaks up with him a little bit. Shout out that Fonzie method of opening your locker. It's so 80s. And he's sad about it. And then his friend, he sees that like, oh no, there's a shrunken head in my locker. And his friend's like, oh hey. But he doesn't have time for his friend anymore. He's too busy. Because he's going back to the psychiatrist to be like, hey, did you listen to the tape?
I'm very concerned about you, Billy.
He shows him what was on the tape.
You're aware, aren't you, that what you're doing is illegal?
What about what they were doing?
Oh, I forgot to mention that at the end of that tape, there was audio of them all killing a guy together. Because I don't know if just having a family orgy is technically illegal, but they definitely were killing a guy.
My father and sister and my mother together.
Everybody in?
All in.
Yes, Dad.
All right, girls, don't forget the seatbelts.
Fast forward a little bit.
But when the psychiatrist plays the tape for Billy, guess what? It's not the same tape.
I remember my own coming out. God, I was so excited.
You mean I can dance with anyone I want?
Of course.
I don't understand.
You know the schedule. First we dine, then introductions. Then you'll be presented.
No. No.
Oh my god, it's so exciting.
Don't worry, dear. We'll be there to help you.
So of course Billy gets upset and he starts freaking out at his psychiatrist, who then tells him that if you don't follow the rules, Billy, bad things happen.
Now, some people make the rules and some people follow the rules. It's a question of what you're born to. I really hate giving you drugs, Billy.
What? I don't believe this.
You can always trust me, Billy.
You gotta believe me.
I just wanted to shout out Billy for having that amazing 80s hair, that Farrah Fawcett type hair. I don't think people really pull that off anymore, but maybe I'm wrong, let me know. So Billy freaks out and he grabs the phone right off the table of the psychiatrist, you know, like one of those plot devices for movies before cell phones. And then just openly explains, says out loud which address and who he's talking to.
Blanchard. Yeah, look, I need another copy of the tape. No, it can't wait. Please. Yeah. The corner of Roxbury and Wilshire, right. Okay. Hurry. Okay, hurry.
So Billy drives off trying to find Blanchard, and it, you know, guess what? He finds Blanchard's car at the spot he's supposed to meet him, but it's all crashed, and there's police everywhere. Because Billy has a big mouth. The number one thing, if you think there's a conspiracy going on, you gotta hush hush, boy. So Billy sees him loading a body in, and he doesn't know though, he can't see the face. And he tries to go around and try to find the tape, because it's, you know, it's a crime scene, it's a crash site, you can just go grab shit. Oh shit, free shit on the ground? But a cop stops him.
Hey. This isn't a garage sale.
Look, officer, he was a friend.
Look. You can't just wander into the scene of an accident.
So for some reason he tries to tell the cop a little bit about the conspiracy going on.
Look, officer, something is definitely wrong.
Get the hell out of here.
No, wait a minute, you don't understand.
Get the hell out of here.
But the cop isn't having it. I mean, the probability of going to the police in a horror movie and having it be a successful, you know, venture is incredibly low, I think, statistically speaking. So Billy goes home and his entire family is waiting in the living room, and they're just like, hey, you actually got invited to Ted Ferguson's party. We got a telegram, so congratulations, I hope you go. And so he goes to the party, but he doesn't bring his girlfriend who really wanted to go. But at the party, he sees all the rich kids, and they're being super douchey. And then he sees that one chick that he was like kind of into, like that other rich girl. She's super hot. This actress is actually mad hot. She was actually a Playboy Playmate of the Year or some shit like that. So they start awkwardly slow dancing in the middle of this party while everyone is just having, you know, normal party. And his ex-girlfriend's friend, who also doesn't make a big deal about inviting his ex-girlfriend to this party, is there, and she sees him doing this, and so she goes off to tell his girlfriend, or his ex-girlfriend.
That is who you go with, right?
You know my mom's maiden name, too?
Real or adopted?
Bill! Bill, what happened with Blanchard?
Milo. Ferguson invited you?
Come on, give me a break. I'm not in the mood, all right?
Whatever turns you on.
At least I don't turn tricks to get my kicks.
So Billy's friend Milo shows up and he totally cockblocks Billy by calling the girl he's dancing with pretty much a whore, a prostitute. But to be fair, Milo is the only one in this situation kind of acting like a normal person, because a kid they all know at school, one of their friends, and you know, Billy's friend, his friend, just died in a pretty gruesome car accident that day, right before the party. So he kind of has a reason to be on edge.
Wait, listen. What happened today with Blanchard? Hey, I asked you about Blanchard. You saw it.
I can't deal with that right now, okay? I gotta go.
So Billy goes into this tent where the cool kids are hanging out, and Ferguson is there, and he straight up confronts Ferguson about it.
We need to talk.
Guess you got my telegram. Sorry it was so much at the last minute.
I want to talk to you about Blanchard and my sister Jenny.
I thought they broke up. He wasn't really her type anyway. Don't be so intense.
Ferguson offers him a joint and he just totally just spazzes out and flips it across the room, which is kind of super aggro because in this moment you don't know that this guy had anything to do with it, and he did invite you to his party.
Relax. Enjoy.
I want to know what happened to Blanchard. And I want to know what you did to my sister for coming out.
You know the schedule. First we dined, then I fucked your sister, and then everybody else got so turned on they fucked her too. And as far as Big Ol' Breath Blanchard goes, I ran that low-rent fool right into a pole. That's a pretty busy week, don't you think?
So without really any prodding, Ferguson just straight up admits everything that he did. He just straight up says it. This is what I did.
You are stupid! You make waves with me, you're gonna drown.
So they do an awesome like one-liner and then just like throw him in the pool and leave him and just like let him stay at the party, I guess. It's all just kind of really weird. But then he sees that girl and I guess he goes home with the girl. Originally I thought like that she lived here too, but I think they go home together. This is like Beverly Hills, so maybe like the homes are near each other. I don't know.
You're crazy. You know what you just did?
No. And I know what I'm about to do.
Don't bother. It's his party.
Someday it's gonna be my party.
That line didn't make any sense to me when I first watched it, but understanding how this movie ends, I think that's foreshadowing. Someday it's gonna be my party. Like, what? So he goes back with that chick, they start doing it, and then all of a sudden he starts feeling weird.
Clarissa?
Like she's kind of slimy, and then her leg just gets all out of sorts. But he thinks maybe he's just tripping.
What's the matter, Billy?
You were in a funny position. This is Carlin. Bill Whitney.
So they eventually get interrupted by this chick's mom. And there's like a whole subplot with this chick's mom, and I don't really get it. I'm not really quite sure like what's going on with that. But I think
Come on, Mother, out!
I think her mom actually ate his ex-girlfriend because they actually show up to spy on this situation. But they see somebody coming, and I guess we never see from her again. So I think the implication is that that's her hair.
So what's with her?
She does things I don't like.
And that's really the only explanation we get. There's really no.
Never known anyone like you.
If you're hoping for like a what does it all mean at the end, this is probably not that movie. So Billy goes home and he finds a blow-up doll with Clarissa written on it in his car. So he definitely thinks somebody's fucking with him.
Shauna.
Then his ex-girlfriend
So are you
shows up and
happy
she's
now?
pissed about it.
What do you
So I
mean?
guess she
What a
didn't
bitch
get
that
eaten.
Clarissa Carlin is.
So I really don't understand what the whole subplot is with that girl's mom.
So, was she a good fuck?
So when he goes inside to see his family, he finds them all in their parents' room, all in a really awkward position. Then they tell him that he's being paranoid.
I'm not paranoid.
So he goes to the funeral for Blanchard, and him and his friend see the body and they think it looks really weird.
He looks really weird. They must have had to do a lot of reconstructive stuff on him.
So Milo just pokes a hole in his face of the body at an open casket funeral. And he just goes, oh, I guess they had to do a lot of reconstructive stuff to him. And then the guy that was running against him for student council president, he comes up and he says, hey man, we gotta meet, we gotta talk.
About some of the things that have been happening here lately. Society.
And he gives him a place to meet at night. And of course Billy doesn't think like, oh hey, maybe I shouldn't keep meeting people at these places. Maybe I'm a part of something bigger here, but Billy doesn't realize that he's in a horror movie, so he goes. And his friend Milo actually tags behind and just follows him, just to kind of see what he's up to, because he thinks at this point that Billy is the one who's killed Blanchard. So he goes off the road and he sees a car, and it's Petrie's car. It's been knocked off the road. And so he looks around and he goes up to the driver door and he sees Petrie there with his throat slit. So he freaks out, tries to get out of there, but he hears people in the woods, and then there's some spooky stuff, and then somebody runs by, and he eventually... It turns out like, oh, this is right by my new girlfriend's house. Oh, how about that? That's odd. I didn't think about that. Beverly Hills is a small place. So he goes with his girlfriend. They get the police because for some reason they still trust the police, and they go to find the car, but it's a different car this time, and there's no Petrie.
I don't think we need the lab to tell us there's no blood.
Officer, this isn't the car.
So the police give him a hard time, and you can imagine what happens.
What are you hopped up on?
Look, I'm telling you, someone killed Martin Petrie.
Up against the car, kids.
Look, this isn't the car, okay?
So the cops let him go, and he stays the night at that girl's house, and then the next day at school, when the debate is supposed to happen, he goes out and tells everybody about how Petrie's dead. And he starts to reveal the conspiracy to everybody, because he's pretty convinced that there is one, that there's a society.
It's strange that Martin Petrie isn't here. He's never late. He's won every attendance award. But he's not coming here. No, please. David Blanchard's death was no accident. David Blanchard tried to tell me about the society that kills to keep its existence a secret.
So there's one of those lines that makes you think that this movie is actually talking about something within Hollywood. And maybe it is. Ooh.
They killed Blanchard. Martin Petrie tried to tell me about this society, but they got to him before I did. I saw Petrie last night in Franklin Canyon, murdered. Martin Petrie is dead.
Would someone like to tell me what's going on here? I had car trouble.
Nice speech, Whitney. Bill.
So it turns out Petrie's not dead, and Ted Ferguson has that thing that he saw in the woods, so it was all a big joke on him, basically. So he runs out of the room, and his friend Milo goes after him.
Bill, we gotta talk.
Leave me alone, Milo.
I fucked you up, man, and I'm sorry. I didn't think you'd take it this far.
What do you mean?
I mean, I was the one who put the shrunken head in your locker and the sex doll in your Jeep, but I didn't think you'd flip out.
You, Patrick Ferguson. Who else was in on this, huh? Who else, asshole?
Wait, just give me a chance to explain. I'm trying to tell you, crazy son of a bitch, but you got your own answers as usual. I'm not in on anything, but I followed you to Franklin Canyon last night. I saw Petrie and Ferguson coming out of the woods. Petrie was wrapped in a blanket. Then some old station wagon showed up. Then an old Ford. The whole thing was weird.
So it turns out that his friend was the one who was fucking with him, but then he learned that there was something actually going on.
Then it's not me. I mean, I'm not going crazy here.
Right.
Milo, I don't know what kind of trouble this is gonna be.
I'm with you.
So like any good buddy cop drama without cops, buddy conspiracy drama, he teams up with his best friend. They get reunited over the conspiracy. And so they decide to stick together to see if they can figure it out. So Billy goes home, and of course his family's waiting there because of all his erratic behavior. They get him. They intervene. There's an intervention. No, Billy, no.
You know how I hate to give you drugs. You can't do this to me. I have rights, okay? I'm almost 18.
Thanks, Cleve.
So they take Billy's body to a hospital, And his friend Milo follows him, and he goes in and he asks to see him, but the lady tells him that he's in the morgue and that he's dead. So his friend freaks out.
Are you a relative?
Yes.
Well, you have to go to the morgue then.
The morgue?
Mm-hmm.
He isn't dead. He just got here.
Well, I'm sorry.
No. You're not sorry.
So Billy wakes up in the hospital, and he's like naked. He finds all of his stuff. He thinks he hears Blanchard. He just walks out of the hospital, and for some reason nobody stops him, and his car is parked there. And Milo understandably is like, yo, what just happened? Like, you're officially dead. And Billy is drunk on something. Maybe it's the drugs still, but he decides that he has to go home, that he knows that they're waiting for him, and that he has to go home anyways.
That's right, roll out the red carpet. Bill Whitney never disappoints, huh?
They said you were dead.
Things are just the way they seem, only more so, Milo.
What happened? What did they do to you?
Nothing. I'm here, aren't I, huh? I won, Milo. I'm free. They couldn't handle Whitney the Wonder Boy.
Bullshit, it's a setup. Look, they even brought your sheep here.
Come on, they just want me to be happy.
Bill, you're officially dead. Come on, can't you see they're setting you up for something?
Paranoid? I'm not paranoid. All my fears are real. Come on.
Yeah, his friend is just as confused as I was when I saw this part. It's like he's got that, what's that, luck juice potion from Harry Potter? It's like he has that stuff.
Where's Party Jelly Bean?
He actually stops by his girlfriend's house first, his new girlfriend's house, and he slaps her around a bit. Wow, you like that, huh? You crazy, huh? Because he thinks she's in on it. Which, to be fair, she is kind of in on it.
Where's your mom? Where's she in on this, too?
Why don't you come upstairs? I want to be a bad
Oh, a bad little girl. Is that right, huh? Bad little girl? Oh, huh? Come on, you want to get rough?
Things aren't the way they seem, Billy.
Oh, yeah?
He just slaps her around. It's really bizarre.
Why don't you stay here a while?
Quit it. Doesn't work anymore.
Don't go home, Billy.
Don't go home. Are you kidding? They want me home. It's time to party hardy.
But he leaves and he goes back to his house and he grabs a knife and he waits for his parents to ambush them.
Keep it down. Mom, Dad, I'd like to have a little chat with you.
So from this moment on, the movie goes absolutely off the rails. And this is pretty much, this entire scene is why this movie is so special, I think. Because this is absolutely the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Ever. Like, ever, I promise you. It's so insane. So it turns out that there is a big party and it's all just for Billy. And that everybody, you know, that he's seen around town is in on it. That everyone around the Beverly Hills, all these rich people, the elite, they are all in on this thing to raise Billy for just this party.
Wonderful. Everyone was just wonderful. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Judge Carter.
Well done. Well done indeed. Effective. Efficient.
Oh.
And to say the very least, entertaining. I do love the smell of the hunt and the taste of the shunt.
What's going on?
Oh, thank you.
You see, Bill? It's like this.
There's no business like show business.
So again, if you think that there's themes about this that might, you know, reverberate in real life, the whole idea that it's all a show and that they're like kind of like actors in a way, and that they're in the Beverly Hills and whatnot. There's a lot of these themes that you can correlate. And this, where he explains this though, this gets real esoteric and out there.
I am not your mother.
Jesus, Bill. You never were one of us.
Who are you?
You almost understand, don't you, Bill? You're a different race from us, a different species, a different class. You're not one of us. You have to be born into society.
Alien scum.
No, we're not from outer space or anything like that. We have been here as long as you have. It's a matter of good breeding, really.
So he tells them that they're not aliens, that they've been on the earth as long as the humans have, and that they just selectively like inbreed or just keep the breeding in like the society circle to stay alive. It sounds a lot like a lot of different conspiracy theories all thrown together in a lot of different ancient texts. Really, it's kind of just a big clusterfuck.
Alien scum!
So they actually bring out Blanchard, and he's been alive this whole time, just kidnapped.
Nurtured by Jim and Nan in their very own home.
And they bring him out, and then the festivities begin. It's kind of like an Eyes Wide Shut party mixed with like a Salvador Dali painting. And apparently this whole movie was inspired by a Salvador Dali painting, so there's that.
Keep your eye on Blanchard, Billy boy. 'Cause you're next.
So they proceed to just sort of like dogpile on Blanchard and start to fuse into Blanchard, because apparently they're like shapeshifters, but they can like absorb your energy by fusing into you and sucking out your nutrients, kind of like a slug. Or I'm really not quite sure. It's just so surreal and so bizarre. It just seems like the worst possible way to go. Like, David Blanchard is not having a good time.
Goodbye, David.
Stop it! You're not gonna get peace for these pathetic animals, are you? Don't worry. You'll get your share.
And now, we'll get to the bottom
Oh, God.
of this.
Run, Billy.
So this part is my top moment from the movie. The puns that he makes and this whole scene in general is absolutely insane.
Let me give you a hand, Bill.
So he escapes that just to go into his parents' room, and he finds his mom has like dude arms.
How sweet of you to come here to me.
And she comes out, and then his sister swings out from underneath his mom or something. It's so weird.
If you have any edible fantasies you'd like to indulge in, Billy, now's the time.
And then he backs up and he sees his dad. And his dad is like a butthole, man.
Well, son, I guess you're right. I am a butthead. Hey, Bill.
Pull myself together.
There's actually a bunch of great puns in this movie.
Come downstairs. You've got to see this. Right out. We're changing. Oh, really? Into what?
So Billy challenges Ted Ferguson to a fist fight, and I guess they all indulge it because these people are so crazy that they just love entertainment like that.
Begin. Begin.
Is everybody ready for the big shun of the night? Ferguson.
I think it's funny that there was probably a stuntman for that kick. In martial arts tricking, that would be known as like a pop 3 or like a 180 outside crescent, and it's kind of like a really big basic. This guy doesn't do it that great, but the skill level back then was way lower. So Billy just gets the shit kicked out of him this entire fight. It's absolutely tossed around. Then he's on his final breath. He's at the very end. And then Ted Ferguson goes to shunt him, which is where they sap all your nutrients.
Told you, Whitney. We don't lose. Ever.
What's going on?
So Bill, he's getting shunted, and I guess that means they become malleable in a shapeshift stage. So he punches into that guy's butthole, reaches up into his eye sockets, pokes out his eyes, and then pulls Ted Ferguson inside out.
Butthead.
And then the movie ends with Billy and his best friend, and then one of the shape-shifting alien girls that fell in love with Billy, all escaping. And there's no wrap up. There's no there's no reconciliation of any of that information. That's just where it ends, right then and there. It's absolutely insane. Apparently, you can turn them inside out, and that's their weakness. And so that's the movie Society. I don't think there's really a greater message going on here. I think it's just, you know, a typical 80s body horror movie. So that's that. I hope you enjoyed it. I mean, I guess let's try to extrapolate a message. Super rich people are fucking creepy. They have really weird fetishes. Maybe they're shapeshifters that have been here for a long time. I mean, in actuality, the plot to the movie was originally written as a religious cult. So if you want to give it a little more credence to maybe, you know, a certain satanic cult of sorts, you could consider that before it got switched to the surrealist aliens or whatever they are, shapeshifters. But I don't know, man. I just love practical special effects. I thought that movie was insane. If you know of any other movies that are like this, please let me know. And if you enjoy this content, there's lots of ways you can support the channel below in the description. I also do news, but I just thought people need to know about this movie. It's absolutely crazy. So let me know what you think. If you enjoy that, if you like Society, and of course, you know, be a good person. Take everything you hear with a grain of salt, and you know, as always, call your mom. But maybe don't tell her about this movie because it's kind of crazy. But maybe your dad would like to hear it. I don't know. Maybe your mom would. I don't know your mom. All right. Peace. I figure I should do an outro on this screen so that you can look at these things. Look at these things, because it makes people feel like you're a more legit YouTuber. I'm trying to be a legit YouTuber. But you know what else though? I think we all need hobbies. So let me know. If you made it to the end of this video, tell me what your hobby is. Cool. Call your mom. Peace.